episode of Naked Sunday. I am your host, Caleb Nelson. The snoring in your ears, possibly if there's a faint little snoozy sound, is my daughter literally breathing into the microphone right now. So if you hear that or you're watching, you can see her disheveled hair and her cute little bear outfit. That's what's going on. Aside from that, I have my lovely new friend, Miss Danielle Zilg. Do I say that right, or Zilg?
You did. You got it. You got it on the first try. Most people don't, and it's very Zilg. You got it.
Let
Gold star, Caleb. Gold star.
Let's go. Welcome with a bang
Yay.
to the show. I had to literally stop the other conversation we were having because we were about to waste all the good juice.
I
Waste is a strong
know. I
word.
know.
We were like, we wanted to recapture it.
The things we're like, wait.
Wait, we should push record so that we don't lose any.
Yeah, we should actually get a cup and start putting the juice in there. Yeah.
You're awesome.
Oh, thank
Before we
you.
even dive
You are
into
too.
all the cool stuff today, because I know if I don't get this out right now, I won't even get a chance. I like to start all my episodes with why I appreciate my guest, because I think we need to start telling each other why we love each other more. And I think that's the path
Love
to
that.
world peace. We forget, we were talking about worth before we even got on here. We forget what our value is, and we stop sharing that love and kindness with other people. And when we are back into our worth, we do better things. We are better people. So, with that in mind,
Absolutely.
we've had a few conversations now. Something that is really jumped off the page to me is this: you have this in deep, eager desire to be helpful. I've seen it in like the group chats and the group that we're in. I've seen it. It was like, oh, I'll help with this. I'll help with that. Like, it's just the love and desire to be of service and to support others and to be helpful is, and to have some impact, positive impact on other people's lives, is just seeping out of your pores with every breath.
You can see it.
I can see it, and it's a beautiful thing. And
Thank you.
I think we need more of that. So thank you, thank you, thank you for just being you.
Aw, thank you, Caleb. That's so sweet. And yeah, I will say, oh, I think hold on a second, my internet just went a little array. Apologies. Um, that's my gift. We talked about that earlier, like finding your gift, and it's like it, and also too, I say to people, it's also a little selfish because I get pure joy out of it, like helping people, even if it's just. It's so funny. I was in Florida last week or the week before. Sorry, I forget what week. And I'm coming from New Jersey, the northeast of Florida right now, a lot of old people, just gonna be and there were like three people I helped, like, they're older, they're by themselves. I helped them with like carrying their bag, and I'm just like, and it just made me feel good. I'm like, I'm like, and as you said, like I try to spread, like, I love what you just did, like more compassion and kindness in the world.
It's my pleasure. And I'm glad that you feel that. I'm glad that you feel recognized for that.
I feel the love, Caleb. I feel the
That's what
love.
it's all
So yeah,
about.
yeah,
Then let's transition to this. Share the audience, Danielle. Who
yes.
are you?
Who am I? Oh boy, this is, well, it's so funny. I'm taking a, like, that's a loaded question
Yup.
because you're talking to a coach, and potential or currently like therapist in training. So when you ask me who am I, I'm like, well, my identity. Do you want to know about my identity, my parts? But if you want to say in, like, in simplest terms, like, I am just a human that when you're around me, I want to make a positive impact on you, whether in the little and the big ways, whether it be personal or career. I want to just bring more light into your life because, let's be honest, this world is crazy, and we're all running at 100 miles an hour, and I just want people to like feel alive and seen when they're around me.
That was a great answer.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, that's basically it. I mean, I think my gift is not only helping others, but I always say this to people, and I think you would agree. Seeing somebody like who they truly are, like, so they can feel comfortable and like their most authentic self around you, is something that is so like overlooked in society, but it's so powerful, and it doesn't take much effort, in my opinion. Like just to see a person like, like as who they are, like whole person, flaws and all, and accept them and be like, yeah, like this is who you are and you can feel safe around me. That's another thing that I found is a gift of mine, and I love that I have like, I just want people to feel safe and, loved and seen, and, that I give them that space in this world, 'cause it's a crazy world, and we get lost in the shuffle, and we all, as we were talking about, we all have value just by being, you
You
know?
said it takes such little effort. Why are people not actually making that effort then? What's the thing holding people?
Ooh. Um, so in my opinion, this is just my humble opinion, I don't think, I think it's a two-way thing. It's not just like, oh, the person seeing another person. I think it's also the person how you are per I would say projecting or performing in the world. I think we cloak ourselves in protective mechanisms and personas and what we want people to think, what we lose a lot of ourselves in society these days with standards and expectations that we often don't even show people our true selves. So how can we expect them to see us if we're not our true, most authentic self? So I think we just live in a world where there's so much distraction and overstimulation, and people are fearful, I feel, of showing their true self. So they hide behind, I'm just gonna give you an example, like a job title, right? Like when you said, "Who are you?" I'm sure you have people come on the show that are like, oh, like, I'm a business owner, or like that you can say right there, like, or what their answer is, or like, I'm a dad, or, how they tie what the most important thing to their identity is.
And in doing so, they're too afraid to share that love with other people.
Yeah, yep, and again, I always say, like, we all have a gift, we all have that's why when my answer was more my impact, because and I'm trying my best not to go from, like, personal, 'cause, like, I'm lucky that my business and my personal life are very integrated. My brand is me. So anything I do is relevant to my business life, which is I'm working through that being an entrepreneur. But that's why I focus on my impact and my value and aligning with my core values, because acts of service, being of service to people, like I'm devoting my whole life to it. That's how important it is to me, because it's so important to me to live in that alignment.
I think we're in the day and age of the personal brand.
We are. We are. We've talked about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's line it up more. Go down that road. Like, let's share. I mean, we talked about it probably off camera. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we talked about it off camera. Yeah, I think that, and I think the reason why, and I used to also too, for your listeners and you, I mean, I've shared with you, I have a background in marketing, like coaching and therapist is my second career. So like I have that very like traditional, like I stood behind a brand, and now I'm kind of going out on my own, which is, I will say, if you want to know something about yourself, start a business, start a personal brand, because it's like personal development on steroids. Like, I'm sure you can I'm sure you can relate. What you find out about yourself in the journey is is amazing, but there's also, like, painful moments, but yeah, I think we're craving, like, especially in the world of all this technology, all AI, like, we're craving, like, human to human, like, authentic, real people, and I find that, you have a personal brand, I have a personal brand. I think it's for me, it's, a avenue of self-expression, and I think we're in a world where people, especially business owners, and I will also too say, there is a that this is the wonderful creative, innovative aspect of having a personal brand, right? It's a beautiful form of self-expression. You're able to feel, validated, but then there's also the other side of I actually think about this daily where, of course, my main goal is, as you said, like to help people, whether it be coaching, therapeutically, because I'm entering this personal brand space and I do have the marketing background. I didn't realize, like I know we can talk about the Hermosis and their view on content. Another full-time job that I've picked up is being a full-time content creator, and I didn't realize like the exhaustion, I will say, that that brings. It's a lot. Like I didn't think about it before building, but you're like, you're up against this these are us little, not little, but us personal brands are up against, billion-dollar brands with teams and budgets that so we're fighting for we're fighting for it. We're fighting for people's eyeballs.
You ever read the book David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell?
Yes, I have. Yeah. Yeah. I love Malcolm Gladwell.
I think the irony of what you just said there. I've been coming to a position in life where it's less about fighting and realizing that's been the problem all along.
Yes, that's true.
Because of it is a comparative thing. So it's
Mhm.
us versus them. It's the foundation of the hustle culture. I call it the crash diet lifestyle because it borrows from my fitness background. It's like when we operate from this scarcity in that because I'm comparing myself to something that is quote unquote more than I am. This entity, better
Mhm.
funded, better whatever. What I see in that is it robs us. So in anything, inevitably, we try doing exactly what that entity is doing.
Mhm.
We're trying to do more of that thing that entity is doing, not really questioning is what they are doing right for me, and is it right for
Yeah.
where I'm at? Is it right for my position? Is it right for my demeanor? Is it right for my audience? Is it right for? It's just that's the idea of what success is because of an external metric.
Mhm.
So I'm bringing up David and Goliath for anybody who's read the book or hasn't read the book, I should say. Most people think of the story of David and Goliath as like, oh, this was a great triumph over this is there's how the hell did this
Wow.
happen? This is the one in a million shot. But upon further investigation, what he breaks down is, oh well, Goliath didn't see very well, and David was using this he was very skilled at using this sling whatever thing, and is a pretty lethal weapon. And it's no
Mhm.
one like, and when you zoom out from the whole, when you really zoom out and see the whole picture, oh, David was by far in the greater advantage.
Yeah, much more skilled.
Skilled, simple. It was just, and especially with how, like, it was big armies versus just like this small little village, and there was just this one person against this other thing. It's like, oh, actually, that was all played to the advantage. And where I'm going with this
Mhm.
is, and take it where you want to go after I say this, is
Yeah.
that the advantage of the personal brand is that it is personal.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I will say that I've learned in my short lifetime on this earth, and also my background in marketing, is that when you get like at the end of the day, whatever, if you're a personal brand, if you're a service, if you're a huge company trying to sell a product, you have to tap into this. I mean, and what is a more intimate setting than a coaching or a personal brand? Like you have to show, you have to have, people connect with you. It's all about connection. It's all about that's all it is, like, even if the big wigs trying to sell it, like, they you know what they say, like, like, Amazon doesn't sell, I mean, they sell a ton of stuff now, but they sell convenience, Google sells data, I think is there data? No, it's not data, I forget, but there's a bunch of examples of, like, what you think they sell isn't what they sell because it's tied to something deeper.
The feeling.
Exactly, and I will always and I get a little, flack for this because I'm a feelings girl, I'm, like, an empath, I have very big feelings, I'm very aware of them, I work on them, like, every day, and I would argue that a lot of us, like, our whole lives, all we're doing is chasing feelings, and I find that very interesting because feelings are, like, fleeting, but we all want whatever it is, the person we date, the car we drive, the vacation we go on, how we live our lives. We're trying to chase a certain feeling, whatever that may be for you.
That tracks. Did we talk about Robert Herjavec ever?
I love Robert Herjavec. I love him. I don't think we did. I don't, but he's like my favorite. I would say him and Barbara are my favorite sharks. I love Robert.
What I'm referencing here is he was talking like the three different levels of sale, like sales skills. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
one was you're selling a service or time, a session, whatever. The
Mhm.
second is you're selling a solution. But the
Mhm.
like Yoda level is selling a feeling.
Mhm.
And when we realize that everybody's what you're talking about, people buy with emotions. We want to think we buy
Oh,
with our head, but we don't.
no. No, 100. I agree. Like, of course, there are certain things like but I will share with you, like my home that I own was, I mean, of course, like I use logic and I had numbers and I had a budget, but 100% emotional sale. And people are like, well, they say like, don't buy with emotion. I'm like, this is my home, like my heart. Like, why wouldn't I buy with emotion? Like, this is probably one of the biggest emotional sales I'll ever make. Like, stop, like, and that's another thing too. I hate that people are like, oh, like use your logical brain and not your feeling brain. It's like, no, like I mean, we can use both simultaneously. But yeah, I would agree with Robert that yeah, you if you tap into people's feelings and tap into like here and here, you can, get people pretty quick.
Yeah, and I like what you said there. It's not a binary thing. It's not an A or B.
Yes. Yes, it's
A
yeah.
and B. And I think people go too far of one or the other. It's like, well, I'm a this or I'm a that, which is already just slapping a label on it. Like, I'm a logical brain, and then completely shut themselves off from the emotional thing that might have been screaming in their face. And if you just really zoom out, like, I think about the worst purchases I ever made was like, I felt like so cold hearted. Sure,
Mm,
on paper it was right.
yeah.
Something wasn't right there. And if I was really honest with myself, I was trying to just like live up to what somebody else told me is this is how you make a good purchase because you're it's a
Hmm.
logical thing. And because in contrast, some of the best things I ever invested in was completely emotional. And if I
Yeah.
and when I really zoom out, oh, there was also some like tactical stuff in there too. It wasn't completely emotional. There was like, oh, you checked a couple boxes.
Sure.
So I think that that's something we're talking about here. It's not this all or nothing. It's not A or B. It's not either or.
Yes.
We're so caught up in this binary life that we think we can't integrate all of ourselves into it. It's just, I don't know, it's disheartening. And then we're surprised why we feel so disconnected. It's like, what do you
Yeah.
think was going to happen?
Yeah, because yeah, and I love that you're like yeah, you brought up the word binary and like it's like almost like we're compartmentalizing things that like we're human beings, right? Like I always say that like we're gonna have emotions. Like that is part of being human, everybody. Like you're gonna have my favorite one, and I'm sure you would agree, and it's because I think we're coaches and we're very, we have personal brands. Business is personal. I hate when people say like this is business, not personal. I'm like, there is probably not one more personal thing in my life that I have than is my business. Like that is my heart, that is my soul. Like, and I hate that when people say that because I'm like, then we just do business differently. Like that, like I mean, I don't say that to them to their faces, but I just think in my head, I'm like, all right, like we just don't, because it's like there is nothing more personal, and you can talk to probably any entrepreneur that is more personal than their business.
Well, especially if it's impact driven.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, maybe product, service, yeah, but yeah, more mission driven, heart centered, impact driven. Yeah, it's gonna be extremely personal.
yeah, I think it's easier for somebody who sells somebody else's stuff to be like, it's just business. And you do have to have a business mind. You do have to say, well, it is like the numbers literally just don't work. Because if that's
Yes.
there is a point where like if that doesn't check out, okay, like this thing that you love can't fund itself. Okay, it's going to collapse. Oh,
Well, yeah, the whole point of business is to, make money and have, that's the point of business. But, yeah,
or
absolutely.
a point of business.
A point, yes. One aspect, we'll say. One aspect of business,
Yeah, I
yes.
think we're moving into a day and age where I think there's going to be more personal businesses. Like I think we're
Mhm.
how would I say this? We used to have a ton of personal businesses. It was the family unit. It was
Yeah,
the family
yeah.
farm. And
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
or like the family village, like there was the village, and it was small, intimate, very personal,
Mm-hmm.
tight.
Community driven. Yep.
And I think we're coming back to that. As much as we think people are worried about losing jobs and this and that with AI, I think it's going to create different types of jobs because new problems are going to arise that it will require a human touch. Dare I call it coaching? I think the rise of the coach. I mean, everybody and their mother wants to be a coach nowadays. I think there's a
I know, right? I know. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. There's a coach for literally anything. Like, you name it, there's a coach for it. Like, and I love that people have that resources because it is. I mean, I think as you know, being in the industry for so long, but you look at any, like like elite person, we'll say, like in society that's looks successful, whether it be an athlete, a business, a CEO, an executive, they have a village around them, building them up to be that person. They're not walking around being like, "Yeah, I got this." You know what I mean? Like, no, like no, and I think that's why I think coaching is so powerful and having that connection is, and having, and I always would say too, and I love your perspective on this. I actually just told this to my therapist that like going back to like, oh, Amazon's in the business of convenience. Coaching, we are, well, no matter what you do, right? You could be a mindfulness coach, you could be a healer, I don't care. You could be fitness, we're doing is holding people accountable. So whatever you want to change and transform in you, we're like, all right, there's that. You have this goal, but I'm like, are you keeping to your goal every week? What are you doing? And that's what I found in my personal experiences with my coaches is that they're like my number one accountability buddy. Um, and we're in the business of accountability.
yes, and it's knowing at what level of accountability you're looking for. So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
while you were saying that beforehand, I was like, what is the business that we're all in as coaches?
Mm,
And to me, the end of it, the end of the wire,
hmm.
but we all think that each stage is going to give us that thing, is fulfillment.
Yes.
Can we
Mhm.
feel fulfilled and purposeful in this lifetime? And I think, especially when we're younger, and I was just writing about this, I was like trying to sum up my 17 years of coaching experience at this point into 3 words was I was wrong. And silly me when I started out coaching, I like, yeah, if I just teach people how to squat and eat right, everybody's gonna be fucking happy and business is gonna boom and we're gonna solve world peace. Like that's all we gotta do. Because I thought it was that simple.
Yeah, we're a little bit more complex
A
than
little
that.
more exactly. But at that point in my life, it's like, just solve their problem, man. And you're right. But then we go, oh
Yeah.
wait, but why did we get here in the first place? And once you
Mhm.
finally start unpacking, well, why did a client really walk in the door? And everybody goes, oh, you have to dig deep and find their why and blah, 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 blah. All that stuff. It's not a blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah. In a dismissive sense, it's like every sales coach on the planet will say, dig for the pain and find their why. That's the whole thing that you're driving, which is fine. We're all seeking the fulfillment, but when you're younger in life, it's very, and even as we get older, I don't think it's different either. But as we get you're younger in life, it's very surface level driven,
Mhm.
and then as we
Yes, very outcome driven.
very outcome. But as you get older,
Mhm.
it's more I would call it impact driven. I want to feel
Yes.
fulfilled day to day, both in I'll use my example, like from people that will come to me, is like, oh, I want to also have my family life and a business that
Mhm.
serves me, and I want to take care of my health. Like it's a whole thing, as not just I'm all business all the time or I'm all family all the time. It's both. I want my cake and eat it too. So it's knowing what stage, and I think we evolve obviously because we're humans. So both evolve as a coach
Yeah.
and evolve as who we're serving. Accountability towards what? And I would
Yes.
that's the thing. And the thing is, and piggybacking off that what does accountability look like in that lens? So,
Mm,
younger Caleb, when he was in high school and playing sports, football, things of that nature, I think most people, and I talked to a friend of mine recently who was like, yeah, I'm breaking down what my belief is around what coaches is, because I think of like a high school football coach in like the 80s who just like yelling in your face.
yelling at you, yeah, yeah, like just barking stuff at you, and
Yeah,
yeah.
not realizing there's a whole nother element. And I think that therapy has brought, and I think old school coaching was that. Old school accountability was that. Call it tough love. And yes, there needs
Mm-hmm.
to be some of that.
Really?
But in the same breath, the therapy world has brought, let's call it mindfulness, better question, more question driven, client driven type of persona. So learning how to, instead of this old school cult like driven, force you to do the thing, now it's how do you inspire somebody and align somebody. So there's different styles of accountability. And for a truly lost, I think of the military, that's the perfect example. Classic example is kid is super lost, needs direction, needs focus, needs purpose. Go join the military.
I'm in this path, yep,
Here's a
yeah.
path.
It's very structured. I tell you what to do. You don't have much say in the process. Yeah, yeah.
We then must graduate to become a true adult. You need to stop being so reliant on somebody else creating the structure for you, and
Mhm,
you need like the shift is more what a parent, and I think about this with my daughter, is more of a true an older relationship with a parent. The parent's role now becomes how do you ask better questions and let them
mhm,
create the structure for themselves, because now it's fitting the context of, well, what do I really want? And what are the
mhm.
relationships I espouse? And who am I? That big question ultimately is,
Yeah,
how do I come to solve that? A great guide later on is like, well, I don't need you to tell me what to do. I need you to help me sit with myself and not feel judged
mhm.
when I'm beating myself up every day. So I've ranted for a while.
No, 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 you brought up great points. I mean, I agree with you. And I will say, like, and I call me, like, because I know I'm drinking my own Kool-Aid and entering. Like, everybody asks me, like, oh, like, why do you want to become a therapist? Because, like, I could just continue coaching. I didn't need to become a therapist. And it's because of what you just said. I have found, and this is why I coach differently. Some people say to me have had coaches and they haven't been successful. And I'm like, let me guess. Like I call it like putting band-aids on things. You had a behavior, you fixed that behavior, but you didn't go deeper to the why. To why is this pattern showing up in my life? Why do I keep repeating things? And you fixed the behavior, but yet you didn't make the connection to like something bigger going on. And I would say, just like for lack of a better term, call it like the root cause. That's where I go. I go to the root and I'm like, let's unpack this. Before we move forward, we need to unpack this. Because if I can't figure out or hypothesize what is causing and perpetuating whatever said behavior you want to change, I I won't be effective in doing my job and giving you the right tools because I'm just going to be surface level. Like we talked about being younger and older. Like I feel like, and that's another thing that I think is great about age and where I'm at in my life in this journey. I'm in my late 30s now. I definitely couldn't do this in my early 20s, and like this was just my journey. But I think you make a great point that like a really good coach and a really good I guess mentor, like they are more of a mentor. They're not somebody who's barking stuff at you. It's all right, like there's a lot of nuance to it. And it's, that's why I always tell people, and I'm sure, and you're a very good coach, I can tell. I tell people all the time, have a lot of discernment with, of course, there's as my real estate agent says, there's an ass for every seat. But like have a lot of discernment when you're investing in a coach because we all have different approaches and some people take our I call it maybe like a deeper approach, but like those quick fixes, you're just gonna fall into like I always say to people, my goal as a coach and also a therapist, I don't it would be very financially beneficial for me if I'm with you for the rest of your life. But my goal is to sit with you for a little bit, work with you, and then you go out in the world with your own tools. I help you develop those tools, so then you could live a fulfilling life. I don't want to be with you forever, you know? I want to I want you to get to the point where you can be, self-sufficient and empowered and have agency.
There's three things I want to cover, which was awesome out of what you just said.
Yeah.
Number one was, let me say them out loud so I don't forget them, and I've said them out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Number
yeah. No, I
one,
know.
number one was what stops people from go. What are you noticing that stops people from going and doing the deeper part? 'Cause- And it's like they've. Why do they keep only going towards the band-aid fix as opposed to doing the deeper one? That's number one.
Okay.
Number two is what are the how would you recommend somebody looking for a coach specifically? What are the big things that they should be paying attention to in terms of that instead of just ask for every seat kind of situation?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then number three, I want to get into the therapy, keep people around. I want to just dive into it about the therapy model. At least
Yeah, let's go.
we'll talk about that at the end, but like I know where I want to go with the therapy model and why what you just said is so important for people to think about, and it comes down to insurance. It's basically my
Oh, yeah. Oh, that yeah. Coaching is not a med in the medical model. Let's just be real here. I know in New York and New Jersey, like I don't need you. We don't need licenses to coach, but for a therapist, you need a license, and there obviously insurance, as you said, insurance involved.
specifically though what I was getting into is how you're saying about letting somebody go and like I don't want to be with you for the rest of your life. So we're going to dive
Yeah.
into the insurance model after that and how that does not fulfill on that promise. But I don't want to go there first.
It's well because you're bringing in a third. Well, this is my last before we get into
Oh
the
yeah,
other
yeah.
stuff. You're bringing in a third party that's what they care about. All they care about is recurring revenue and claims and making money off of you. So it doesn't behoove the insurance company for me, for a person to come to me for 3 months. It benefits them for them to be with me for 3 years.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm gonna let the simmering keep going. You're right.
I
You're just
mean that
opening this
I mean
can. I
that's
love it.
That's unfortunately, like, I mean, and that's like it's kind of like when it comes that's like the mental health model and also too the physical health model, right? We're better to people sick. We're better to the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies. I mean, I could talk about this. We'll have another podcast about this, Caleb. And I'm not even working with the insurance companies yet, like on my own. I am like learning, and let me tell you, they are from a business to business, like therapist to and from being in like your physical fitness world, they're awful to deal with.
They're the worst.
Yeah. Oh, she waking up. Am I being too loud? Hi, beautiful.
There we go. You want to be part of the
There
conversation?
you go.
That's it. That's okay, baby girl. Just take a nap on head
Yeah,
stiff.
she can talk.
Oh, careful what we wish for here.
Okay, all right, all right.
Yes, homegirl's been on a tear today.
Oh God.
Let's first go to the why people what is really people's biggest struggle going beyond the band-aid fixed. Like
Oh boy. So all right, this is like therapist Danielle coming out, and also well, coach too. It's too painful. It is too people that it's. I'm gonna try to. I want to find like a really good metaphor here, and I'm trying to like compare it to something. It's like it's just too painful for people to look that deep within themselves and to recognize like, hey, I might have a wound and it keeps showing up in all these areas of my life, but let me cover it up with working harder. Let me cover it up with unhealthy coping mechanisms. Let me, whatever, so like fill in the blank, whatever you want to cover up with, because guess what? That's easier. It's easier to go to the external and be like, yeah, and then brush it under the rug. It's harder to look in. I'm really trying to come up with a good metaphor because I speak through metaphors and I'm failing at it because it's almost like expecting like you like coming from the fitness world, right? It's almost like working out and expecting the results and like the muscle tone and the losing of weight and then still eating like crap. It's like I like that you're just looking at surface level stuff. If you're putting garbage in your body and eating candy bars and fast food all day and but then you're working out like crazy, like yeah, you might look good, but you don't feel good, you know? And that's what going back to feelings. It's like what are you, you know, what pain are like that's you like what pain are you trying to not see? Because it doesn't feel good to do that deeper work. Let's be honest. Sometimes it doesn't feel good.
You ever watch Ted Lasso?
No, I
Oh
don't.
boy,
I don't. I hear it's so good. I
my favorite
don't.
show. Uh,
Okay.
it's my favorite show. I'm gonna give away this moment, so spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's fine. I've heard of it,
He goes to the
obviously.
therapist, and she goes, "Oh my god, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off."
Mhm.
And it sticks, right? It's what everything you're just saying right there. And you brought up some powerful analogies of that. So thank you. Yeah, like it's the point of like I just don't want to go face that dark, deep, painful thing and revisit it. But if I mean, I guess at some point, well, this keeps coming up and I can't seem to outrun it. I guess I might as well face it. Like it's annoying enough already.
Well, yeah, like going back to kind of like the working, like being really like physically, I guess, healthy and working out and eating garbage. It's like, well, you're gonna get to a point where if you're putting garbage in your body will, your organs will start to shut down. You'll suffer from, you'll be symptomatic of a situation if you don't fix that. Working out won't fix a unhealthy body, you know?
Yeah.
Like it just that's not the root cause of it. You know, we know like more it's like nutrition based and obviously like stress management. I mean, it's a whole gamut of things, but unfortunately people and I love that you said like brought up that Ted Lasso, like the truth, like you know, about the truth, because I always say one, and I'm sure you've heard this quote. This is one of my favorite quotes, is that the person's capacity to grow in life is directly proportional to the amount of truth that they're able to see themselves without walking away. It's directly so like if you're holding back and not and going back to even our initial like in the initial conversation, if you're not being authentic with yourself, like you like if that's something you like if you can't be true to yourself, how do you expect to navigate through this world and grow and feel fulfilled if you aren't being honest with yourself?
There's a clip.
Yeah. Yeah, or 2, how and that's what something I've learned in especially relationally with, like, friendships, relationships, if somebody isn't honest and I'm not saying, like, just, like, blatant lying, but, like, if they're not being honest with themselves, how can you expect them to be honest with you? Because it starts with you. Yeah, it does.
She's finding her words. You want doo doo? You want dooba? Here you go, baby girl. What a good girl. Yes. I love what you're saying, and I think the thing that brought to mind there as you're saying that was, I think deep down people are afraid that they know that they're going to have to change everything, and then they're afraid that they actually can I do that? What happens?
Mhm,
What's going to happen? Am I going to lose the success and the stability that I currently have? Here, you want to watch Mickey? Baby,
mhm.
you can watch Mickey. There, Daddy will put Mickey on for you.
Oh, yeah, fear and comfort kill more dreams than anything in this world.
And it's so simple, but it's so true.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard. I mean, fear is, I mean, sometimes fear is good and sometimes comfort is good. I always say, like, it's okay to visit those places, but don't live there. You know, like, go visit for once a while. It's okay to check in with those emotions and those feelings, but that's not a place to live because if you live in a state of fear or comfort, you're never like, that to me, like, that to me is like hell. Like,
It's purgatory.
like, it's pretty much like I'm like that, like people like, "What's your version of hell?" I'm like people, I don't know. I'm like that to me, like being like not being grown, that to me is like might as well kill me. Like, what's the point?
She is asserting herself.
It's okay. She has authority. She has agency in this
Oh
world.
boy, does she. I think I've told you this.
And then we're work on, huh?
She's taught me more about confidence in the 17 months she's been on this planet than more than anybody else in my entire life, more than the 17 years I've been on this planet. That's really it.
right?
Like 17 years, 17 months, 17 months, years of me being on the planet, 17 years of coaching. It's like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry, bro. The interesting 17th lining up there. Um,
I love that.
yeah, we hit that one pretty hard. Like that's what I wanted to. I think people just need to hear it enough of like, yeah, that's the thing. It's always going to be the thing. And you can keep avoiding it until you want to, but you're going to come back to the same spot. And,
Exactly.
and I think
Exactly.
once we start to realize, like, you're going to get really tired, really lonely, really sad, really upset,
Mhm.
really hurt. Yes, you're going to have some glimpses of maybe some excitement, but they will be very short lived. But you're going to end back, like, you're coming right back here. So if
Yep.
you know that to be true, why wouldn't you just start with just doing this first?
Yeah, it sounds really easy, right?
Yeah. And
I mean, it sounds like, like, honestly, like, we wouldn't have jobs if it wasn't for that, but that's why in the work like, that's why I look at too, I'm sure you do with your clients too, like, I look at, like, of course, we're on this evolution of life, but I also look at patterns, like, and I have a very interesting brain where, like, I look at things very systemically, very like, I take a little bit of a step back when people describe, like, their behaviors, it's just the way my brain is trained and through schooling, but I notice patterns, and especially I always say this about patterns. Either you repeat them or somebody taught me, if you repeat them or you repair them, and somebody said then you repress them. And I love that last one because it's very true. And then so like I notice like in my clients like what's being repeated across like different areas of their life. And I'm like, that's how I can tell. I'm like, oh, there, I mean, of course, normally it is always something bigger going on. But I'm like, that's my signal to like, that's my tell of like, yeah, like it's not your overworking at your job, saying sorry too much. Like you maybe you're having conflict with your spouse, like, all those things are actually tying back to one thing, we just have to figure out what that one thing is.
if
Yeah.
only,
I
right?
mean, like, and it could be anything, right? It could be, like, an attachment wound, it could be an inner child, it could be anything, but, like, that's why I'm like, I need to, and actually, somebody used this metaphor, I'm gonna steal it, she was on my podcast, and, we need to look under the hood, like, like, you think of us as a car, but the problem is, if we're sitting on the hood of our car, we can't lift up the hood. And that's what I think a lot of people do. They are stubborn and they sit on the hood of the car because they're like, no, and it's like, no, no, like you have to let me go look under here because we can't fix you. We can't, not say anybody needs fixing. We can't address what's going on if we can't look underneath the hood. But too many people are sitting on the hoods of their own car,
It's fire.
you
We've
know, like, like, and I love the car metaphor too. I love metaphors in general, but yeah, like we're just, and yeah, it comes from fear, from being stubborn, from like I love, and like this is my favorite thing. I learned this in business. Like this is why I think I have this like very strong growth mindset. Is like I've always done it this way. Is the most expensive words in business and in your life. How's that working out for you? You've always done it this way. Okay, cool. You know. Okay.
definition of a fixed mindset.
Exactly, like, how's that working out for you? Is it working out good? Okay. So, we have sometimes we also too, I'm sure you realize with your clients, like, we have to get out of our own ways. We have to surrender to whatever is at hand and stop trying to control it, stop trying to and just, like, get out of our own way.
Well, you just crushed that first part that I wanted to cover. What was the second one I wanted to cover?
The second one, what can you tell, like,
Oh,
with working with somebody,
yes. What's the,
um,
like, what should they be looking for in a coach, and what should they not be looking for too? Like, I think that's the hardest part. We're floating around here. We've been burned before. Everybody's been fucking burned, but like, in one sense, we've all been burned. In another sense, we've all been set free if we look at it from a certain lens,
true.
or it's been the gift. What what have you found, at least in your exploration of finding the right person, guide, mentor for that stage of your life? Like, what do you look for?
So, I kind like, so here's where, like, my marketing brain comes out, my personal experience and my life experience. Something I have learned, Caleb, and I'm sure you have learned too, people can talk, and we talked about, like, and let's be honest, we're marketing, we're branding. There's a message we're putting out in the world to our potential clients that we want them to, like, resonate with, right? Like, that's just marketing. But I always say in life, follow people's actions, and it's hard to do in business because it's, like, of the marketing model, but follow people's actions, not their words. Like, how do they show up? Like, I'll just give a personal example of, like, if somebody says, like, "Oh, like, I'm a generous person," but, like, there's no receipts of them being generous in their life, I'm gonna question, like, "Oh, like, is that what you're just telling me?" And I know, like, with coaches, you can have, like, obviously reviews, but I think having an initial consultation and call, I mean, you can tell a lot about a person just getting on a quick phone call. Like, I don't work with anybody without meeting them. Of course, in person is hard, like, with the world and technology and everything. But I'm like, you need to get on a call. If you're sharing intimate moments and details with your life with this person, like, as you said, like, this person needs to become, like, your new best friend. So it's, like, almost like vetting somebody to be your closest friend, you know?
What's the feeling you feel right before you buy?
The feeling I feel right that's a great question. The feeling I feel right before I buy is a feeling of, like, I'm trying to find a feeling word. Let me go in my Rolodex of of different feelings that I have. It's almost a feeling of, like, I don't wanna call it satisfaction, but it's just, like, assurance, maybe? It's like, "Okay, like, I feel, like, confident in this decision. I feel I also too connected to the person." I mean, um and then I have my kind of checklist that I go off when meeting, even personally. Like, actually, I would say, like, my personal and my relationships, I have a very, like, I have, like, my little checklist I go off of when I work with somebody. And yeah, I just feel, like, very connected with them, with maybe their story. Maybe they've been, in a similar place that I have. I think that's super relatable. Um, but yeah, I feel like probably connected.
I love that. It's something I always think about, and I ask that because I think a lot about buyer's remorse, and
Uh-huh.
I brought it up earlier about purchasing and feelings and all that stuff, and I realize when I've made decisions that didn't work out, I was very excited. I was in an elevated state of emotion.
Mm.
When I have made better decisions, I feel very at peace and feel very grounded.
Yes. Yes.
That person
Yes.
and the connected word that to me was like, "Oh, I felt very understood."
Mhm.
And more
yeah.
importantly, the impression I get from them is, "I'm good either way. I don't need you."
Mhm.
And that there is nothing sexier to me in this life than like, "Oh, you don't need me? You're confident. You don't
Yeah.
you we're not setting up some weird relationship here. This is not some savior victim complex being created here. There's not a
Mhm.
hierarchical thing. It's like, yeah, we're gonna just be a couple people having a chat. That
Yeah.
and it's usually it's like, oh, cool, like here you are rocking just like a t-shirt and whatever. It's the person who doesn't look like they're successful but is wicked successful. The idea like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't give a
yeah.
shit. Like whatever, I don't care. I'm here. You want it or not, I don't care. And that to me has always turned out to be some people try to posture what that is, but if they're not in a rush and I'm not in a rush, then that's usually a good sign. That's not a fail safe. But I
No, no, but that's yeah, but you learn through your lived experience, that's like yeah, because of course, we're gonna go through this process, right? Like, we're people and, things are gonna come up because, as I said, we've all been burned before. Like, I mean, and if you haven't, oh gosh, you were like I mean, I would say go out and touch the fire 'cause what you learn, yeah, it sucks, but it hurts when it's happening, but the healing is worth it. Um, I mean, I'm weird like that. I'm not saying I'm willingly going out and, like, getting hurt, but, you know, you can't life is a paradox. You can't heal if you haven't been hurt. You can't succeed if you haven't failed. Like they give each other meaning. Like it's impossible to go out and be like, "Yes, I'm never like," but then you don't have any coping skills to like then you're going to hate to say it fall a little harder when,
it's coming.
the other and I trust me, I'm not wishing hard lives on people or that you get, but it makes you I use the word discernment. I know it's used in like the spiritual world a lot, but like that's the knife that you sharpen is your discernment knife. Once you get to a point of being and life will teach you that. And life and also what I've learned like life and will teach you a lesson and it'll repeat it until you learn it. Until it hones it in and it not you until you learn the lesson and stop a cycle, stop a pattern, it'll just keep you in a revolving door of learning that lesson.
The irony of what we just covered there, to me, bleeds perfectly back into the third part, which was around
Okay.
not keeping people around forever.
Oh gosh, I could talk about this and that's I could talk about this all day.
Well, Riot brought it up, and I think about the insurance model as a practitioner does not encourage you to get people off. Not just even from the
No.
insurance perspective, from the coach, from the practitioner's, it's safe, it becomes reliable. I can just keep driving the
Mhm.
thing, and
Recurring. Yep.
especially with the debt that many people come out of school with, it's like, oh, well, this is how I market myself, and
Yep.
you get
Yep.
trapped into that lane.
That system is a system.
And what I've come to find, the insurance model doesn't promote healing.
No.
Not
No.
just from what we were talking about there, but also it's I'll just go with whatever I find somebody who's close enough to whatever my copay will cover. As opposed to
Yeah.
the actual pain of this is straight out of pocket. This is
Mm.
cash. Those who pay attention. And in the beginning, yes, it works because it's more than the zero you were doing. It's more than the zero you were doing. But again, with the college model and the debt that people come out of, especially if they've gone through their doctor, all the other stuff that happens with that, it doesn't necessarily behoove the person to get somebody off the teat. It's come
No.
here next week, talk about the things. And I noticed a lot of therapists actually struggle with a coaching skill set because
Yes. Oh,
coaching is
yes.
skill is goal driven. Well, it's not that therapy is, it can't be goal driven, is that coaching is like, where are we going? And
Exactly. Yep.
forward facing, because I remember that we were trying to set up some situation at my gym with a guy who was a therapist, and he was like, here's the difference, what I can do here within this construct and legalities, blah blah blah. It's like it'd be coaching, and the way it's described is it has to be all forward facing. Like, cool, awesome. um Remy, come here, baby. Come here, gorgeous. The terrifying part right now is about her and outlets.
Oh, you do have those little
I
covers?
do, and she found them. Come here, gorgeous.
Oh, and she said she takes them off?
Well, she can't figure out how to take them off yet, but right now she has one because I put the outlet plug. Let's see if I can fix that. Whoopsies. Hold on. We're coming back.
Oh, take your time.
That goes there, go. The multitasking dad skill set I've developed, running a podcast at the same time as caring for a child who wakes up from naps, off the charts. Off the charts.
Oh god, I can't yeah. I'm not there yet with that, but I too, I applaud you. Like, that's something that, like, I love about you and going back to, like, a kind of full circle of our conversation of, like and you said, like, you show up as you, like, and not this polished, like, version. It's like, this is your life. This is the realness of you, and you're just integrating your life into your business. That's what it is. Like, so and so that might not be for everybody. Some people be like, "Oh, this guy has his kid around him all the time." Like, but no, it's like that's like this is real. This is real life. Like people like I that's another thing I when I go sorry, going back a step back to like looking at coaches, like if you look too polished and you're not showing me any realness on your social media or anything, like no. Like if it looks like you're using, I guess like I can tell because I have like my marketing like stock photo. I'm like if you're not showing yourself, like putting yourself out there, that's a red flag for me.
That's a good indicator. Thank you. And thank you.
Yeah.
Believe you
Yeah.
me,
No,
very difficult for me to
I
do that initially. Like
what?
I was telling somebody a few weeks ago, I was terrified before we had our kid, before we had Remy. How am I going to do this? And then I was like,
Like, yeah, how am I gonna juggle all this? Yeah.
then part of me, if you want to talk about niching or whatever, that kind of stuff. Do I want to fucking deal with somebody who doesn't appreciate the fact that I
Who
have kids?
doesn't get it? Yeah, who doesn't get it?
And I had a
Exactly. Yeah.
client. She told me before like Remy was born. Here you go, gorgeous. She's like, Caleb, you don't realize this yet, but like Remy's going to be like the unlock in your business. And
Mm. Yeah.
and to this effect about the polished thing, she was like, Caleb, right now you have this perception, like once you get past whatever, it's like I look at you and you're like, you look like some people think I still look like I'm in my 20s, like me and Nima.
Yeah, no, you look great. Yeah, I would say, like, yeah, I would, like, I don't know your age, but I can, like, make assumptions in my mind, but, like, yeah, you don't have any gray hair. You're great. Like, you're
I
good.
got some grays back here and I love them. I embrace them.
I can't see them on the camera, so
I for the record, I turned 39 literally next a week from this recording on the 29th of January. So
Oh, okay. Oh, I mean, happy early birthday. I'm sure I will wish you a birthday, a happy birthday when it comes.
thank
You don't really don't look 39. No.
thank you. I love getting older, namely because I'm like, once I say that, I feel like I've learned people do just listen different. And I just like, I just
Yeah.
want to say the thing with you here. Like, I'm not out to get you, like, get it. Where I'm going with it was, she's like, right now, the impression is here's this guy, he's got a beautiful wife, he seems like whatever. I can talk my fucking face off on these things. She's like, it doesn't look like you got a lot of problems. And I'm like, oh boy, I got plenty of them. And I'm like, and she's like, I know, like you talk about the stuff once you're sitting in conversation with people. She's like, you have a kid. There's gonna like promise you.
I mean, that in itself,
It,
yeah.
there is nobody's getting out unscathed with kids. Like it is what it is. Anybody think?
No,
But what she said
absolutely
after
not.
that was like, hey, you talk to a bunch of moms, or even like with her, she is a mother of three. She's like, oh, you around my kids, and the fact that you walk into my house and you don't care, like when there's this and that, and my kids are
Yeah.
screaming. She's like, oh, that's that.
Like, she doesn't have to feel like she has to, like, put on a mask to
That
work with you.
that was it. And the signal that she said, and I've had people comment afterwards. She's like, oh, actually, it allows me to chill out. And the people that are
Mhm.
trying to juggle all these things, especially when you talk about impact driven, there's a reason why people are so high strung and impact driven. They feel like they got to do fucking everything.
Yeah.
Is like, and people pleasing is like, well, what expectations are you living up to? So unconsciously, consciously, whatever, I've realized, oh, just let your kid be part of it. Plus, selfishly, I think coaching will be at a premium in the future because, and I think we've talked about this, self-actualization is an internal process, and we're going to all be at that point of, as on a societal level, grappling with self-actualization much earlier because there's a million groups you can belong to.
Yeah, there's so much information, so many resources.
Like we're so far away from survival but on a global scale, and then you throw AI into this, like in the next 10 to 15
Oh
years,
god, yeah, lean on a fire.
it's going to be nuts. Coaching, mentoring, whatever you want to call it, on this type of level, it's essentially humanized. How do I be fully human? And I think
Absolutely.
that's going to be at an all-time premium. What does it mean to coach? What does it mean to shepherd somebody ethically through that space? So I don't know. Perhaps I've joked that I'm brainwashing my daughter. And we're all being brainwashed from the time we're what?
At some yeah, for some way, we're all being conditioned or brainwashed in a certain yeah, like, we can't help that. That's part of life, like, right?
If we're gonna be intentional, what do I want if she's going to be brainwashed by something? I want her to be.
You would like it to be in this path,
I'd
yeah.
like it, well, yeah, at least in a path where, wow, human, real conversation, openness, depth, caring.
Mhm. Oh,
Uh, Not to mention, like, many of the people I work with are women, and she's
mhm.
getting an example like, oh, there can be a non-sexualized male-female conversation that talks about real shit. Interesting. That's normal.
Yeah,
This didn't.
like, yeah, they
That is a powerful thing for me for her to just be like, oh, that's just not a belief I have to break.
mhm.
Not to mention she's gonna know all the questions to ask, and I thought about this the other day, and have you ever thought about this? It's like, when was the time that I learned that this was a thing? Even like, that's what a rectangle is. Like,
Yeah,
I know what a
yeah,
rectangle is,
like,
but I don't know when I knew it was a rectangle.
well, in elementary school or when like, maybe, like, pre-high kindergarten, maybe? That's when you learn your shapes? Or maybe no, even earlier because 'cause you're doing building blocks, you know what I mean? Like, you're but I don't know if you know, but it's, like, connecting that awareness, right?
How many things do we just know and are like, I couldn't even tell you when I learned that, and the moment or the
Mhm,
why of like how I understood it, but I just know. And
mhm.
that's what I think about with her. So she's like, she's just gonna know, ask these questions and be part of these types of conversations. Like, I don't know how I know that, but I just know. And I think that's cool.
Well, yeah, because you try to subconsciously because her brain right now is a sponge. Whether you recognize, I know you mentioned me, like, she, like, mimics your behaviors when you and your wife, and, but, like, all this is, like, a download in her programming right now. That's all she's doing is downloading all this information and being like, "Oh, yeah, I'm picking it all up," which I think that's great that you're, imparting this on her at such a young age because also too, like, I was actually just talking to somebody and don't wanna like, I always say this, I don't want but, like, I go there because like, I don't like she said that, like, spiritually, children are closer to, like, whatever you wanna call it, God, creator, I fill in the blank, I always say, but that, like, they're closer in, like, spiritually to, like, a higher power than us adults. So that's why, like, too, they say too, like, people that are great with children and normally are like have a good energy because they're closer to that higher power when they're younger.
Kids are a great litmus test. You'll like this.
Oh, geez. What dogs too.
Dogs,
People go
100%,
but that's unconditional.
100%.
I will
I call it the mom test. So
The mom
at the
test.
gym, coaches didn't know I was doing this, but we let parents bring their kids in. Our clients were
Mhm.
very respectful. Like, they were also, caring about those kind of things. And I would watch to see how the coaches would respond when a parent, usually it was like a mom or maybe especially a mom that was coming back from, just had a kid or something like that.
Yeah, 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 trying to get her body back to
I would watch how do they deal with like all of that situation, because it told me everything that I needed to know. Do you have empathy? Or do you at
Mhm.
least attempt to put yourself in that person's shoes? If you don't, if you can't, if you're just like, well, this was what we're trying to do today and fuck you, you are not a coach here. But if they went over,
Yeah.
high five to the mom, little hug, fist bumps,
Yeah, yeah.
get down on their level, you see those,
Yes, that you're like, "Okay, this person sees it."
all the things, the tactics, the skills. Like, I could teach anybody how to teach a squat, or I could you can teach skills, but
Absolutely.
that empathy, give a shit thing of like, I really care about how that person feels right now. You either have it or you don't, or you haven't been hurt enough in this life to put yourself in other people's shoes yet. Usually it's that second one. So like,
I and I, like, don't ever wish that upon any like because 'cause you're right, like, I always say too, like, on that aspect, like, hurt people, like, oh, like, the heart that, like and I'm, like, not to say, like, I have a big heart, obviously, it's from my morals and my values and my upbringing, but also too, because like, I've been hurt, like, very deeply, by life, by people, but also too, I hate that other side of it where you said, like, hurt people also hurt people, and that's what happens when we were talking about earlier, like, when you don't look deeper, you actually hurt more people because you don't even realize, like, you're hurt because you're trying to protect it, you're actually doing more damage out in the world than you think.
If you feel comfortable sharing, what is like the big things in your life that have impacted you coming down this coaching
Yeah.
path? Like you talked about it and you brought it before. It was either when we came onto this or right before we were talking, before we pushed record was, hey, all coaches kind of have that same through
Oh,
line.
yeah.
They got hurt by something and then they're trying to fix that. Is there that, what's that turning point for you if you're comfortable sharing?
Oh, absolutely. I'm an open book. I would say for my coaching specifically was being in corporate America, and I had 2 really bad experiences in 2 toxic work environments, one with 2 very toxic bosses, both males, and, nothing against males, like, I think, but it scarred me in such a way that I had to go on, like, short-term disability because I wasn't sleeping, I was going through panic attacks, like, full mental breakdown, like, my body was like, "This is not it." Like, I had to step back, and I thought to myself, I was like, "Nobody should ever, like, have to be in an environment like this and feel so, like this," and then I was like, "What?" And then that's also too, I went because I went through a very low moment in my mental health, like, I mean, I was 100% depressed, like, 100%. I went into, like, an outpatient program, an IOP program, and, like, that's when, like, my, like, not I've always struggled with anxiety, but that was a really, like, pivotal moment in my mental health, and then I was like and because I couldn't get up myself. I like, I that was the like, I was like, I was always at a therapist, but that was the first time I went to, like, an intensive outpatient, which it was, like, 3 days a week and group therapy, and I saw how powerful it was that, like, I was like, "Alright," like, I really had to surrender and be like, "Danielle, you need a lot of help right now." Like, I was, like, to the point of depression of, like, suicidal ideation, like, that's how bad it was. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Not acting on it, no plan, but, like, being like, "Yeah, when you're that depressed, like, that's what happens." And I learned, I'm like, if it wasn't for the help that I got, I wouldn't be here, and I was like, "That's what I wanna do for the rest of my life." I wanna take like and also too, I don't want anybody to ever get to that point. Like, because you're pushing through, you're ignoring your body, you're saying like, "Oh, it's not that bad," like, because I will share, I have had a very privileged life. Like, not a lot of big T trauma, if any, not any trauma at all. Like, very like nothing crazy. Like I always say, like I pretty much like, maybe in my earlier formative years, like didn't experience a lot of hurt. It wasn't maybe until like my adult life that when I like walked into the world kind of was like, yeah, we need to put you in your place a little bit. The world was like, let's knock this girl down a little bit and see how she gets up. But I see it all as a learning experience now, and that's what really inspired me to go on this path because I also too that's when I got really passionate about mental health and all that fun stuff. So that journey was what transformed my life and was that like light bulb moment for me.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. That's
Yeah.
I think that the tides are turning by and large. And I think it is the wave of accessibility to like the ability for somebody to be able to start their own business by and large.
Mhm.
The steps, the practical steps it takes to get to that point is you're not married to the corporate environment anymore. And there are a lot more options than people think. And that being said, of course, we've talked about, yep, there's a lot of you're trading different things. Like and you
Yes.
can quickly create your own cage and there's plenty of mental health issues that come along with every entrepreneur that's out there in the world. Um, but I do think the corporate world is going to be changing drastically in the next
Oh, yeah.
10 to
I hope so.
yeah.
I mean, because and that mind you, like, of course, like with any experience, right? Like once, even personally, once you have a bad experience with like, let's say like an abusive, I'm going a a little far out there, like an abusive partner. Of course, you're gonna have that wound that is pretty deep that like for me, it was get out of this environment. And I will say I had a good stretch. I had a good, like, 10-ish, 10 to 12 years of, like, good companies, good bosses, but w the impact that the last 2 companies had on me, oof, like, it like we talk about like being in fight or flight. It was like I was trying to just my it was my body trying to keep myself safe, and I was in fight or flight for like years. Like you don't have a mental breakdown without like, some lead up to it. Like it wasn't like one day I woke up and was like it was like the symptoms were there. My body was telling me with like my anxiety level, with not sleeping, and I was just doing what like, my one coping mechanism, I will say, is overworking. I mean, it's not healthy. I know that. It's because I'm a millennial. I have that hustle mindset because I entered the workforce when the recession was hitting, like the 2008 recession. So like I have that still ingrained and conditioned in me. And that's a perfect example of something when I said earlier about like going deeper. I had to look at that because that's a pattern that shows up in my life. When I'm stressed out, I'm like, "Oh, I'll just work more." But it's like, "No, that's not healthy." And where did that come from? It can't like I had to really tie it back to that. And also too, I can even tie it back to like value, all of that like overworking. It's like you want to overproduce. You're only worthy if you're outcome driven. That's not true. That's what I'm telling myself.
It's quite lovely that you're on the other side of that. I didn't know that when you went to outpatient. That's intense.
Yeah, I went to an intense it was like a yeah, it was like, I think it was like 4 months? I forget. It was like yeah, but it was like 3 days a week, like, I didn't go to the hospital or anything. I was, just per all outpatient, and that, like, changed I mean, they did a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy and, all that fun stuff, but that's when I would also too, like I mean, I felt the power of, like, group therapy. That was, like, one of my first group therapy experiences, and it was so powerful, like, because there were so many people there from different walks of life, different dealing with different things, and it was like, you're not alone, like, and that's what I think, like that's also too I wanted to focus a lot on mental health was because there's so I mean, as you know, there's so much just shame in general of, like, wanting help, and like, you can't get through but none of us get out of this alive, number 1, and then to the expectation that we always have to get through it alone is, I think, an unrealistic expectation.
Or can we?
I mean, good luck trying. That's my answer to that.
Well, just think about it, even in any exchange, there has to be two parties. You want to make money, you must sell to somebody. If you want to work a job, you need to have there's a thing. There is an interaction with something other than yourself, a person other than yourself, in order for there to be some level of success, regardless of whether it's money, relationship, health, like that's going to be something. There will be all those
Yep.
things. So to think that we did it alone is a very naive, very dare I say egotistical thing. It's like your
Yeah.
initiative was yourself and you were
Yes.
self-driven, but you did not do it by yourself. That is an incorrect thing to say that you did it all by yourself because you didn't. You had the help of other people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but going back to even, like, back in the day, like, primitive like, back in, like, more, like, village days, like, that's what it is, it takes a village, like, with raising kids, like, that's where that saying comes from, like, it takes a community and group of people to help, to raise a child.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at the clock and I want to make sure I'm respectful of your time. So we have three fun
Of course.
questions. Three fun questions. I know we've got. I
3
knew
fun
we were going to
questions,
go
and then
longer than my block time today. I already had a feeling from our last two conversations. Like
I know, right? I know, we could talk all day.
three fun questions. Question number one:
3 fun ques
what sports and or creative activities did you play or participate in when you were younger? And
okay,
1A is what was your style? How did you play?
okay. W Alright, 1A so you want me to answer that one right now?
Yeah. Yeah. Those are 1 and 1A.
1 and 1A. So sports I played when I was younger, I played basketball. I was very good at basketball actually. And I really enjoy it, like watching it now. And that's pretty I danced when I was really like when I was like younger. And then but that's about it. Like I guess and like I like and even though dance I guess is not like a technically competitive sport, I did like go to like I was one of those people that like did dance competitions. So like, I know there's like dance is also self-expressive, but I did that when I was younger. And then when I was like more in my middle school, high school ages, I did basketball. I was really into that.
And what was your style?
My style, I would say, oh, geez, I was like probably like really like basketball style. I say I was like pretty like gritty. I mean, I wasn't afraid to like foul out. I'd be honest with you. I fouled out. I mean, if I had like not three fouls, it's like something was wrong in the game. I'd be like, what's going on here? Yeah, I would say I also like to. I think I was like the captain of the team, so I assumed like a leadership role. I do think I have that like that trait in me. I like to like inspire people and help lead them, but not in a like ego way and a helpful way. Yeah, I would say that was kind of like also too just like a kind of like and maybe this like a little I was a little bit more competitive back in the day, but like that winning, it feels good to be competitive and to win and to be good at I feel like, it adds to your value when you're younger to be have a skill and kind of master it and be good at it. Also, I'll share my brother was like an amazing baseball player, like in the paper all the time. So like there's that like family dynamic of like I have to be good at something too, like athletically because I mean this kid like he's just in very like naturally like give him any ball. Like he's great at golf. Like he just had to choose a sport and he would have been good at it. He was one of those people. So like I felt like I'm like, well, I have to be good at something too. I can't just be like and like I can't just be like this like, do nothing.
You just be yourself.
Yeah, well, I was also too I will say I excelled academically a lot. That was also my, like, wheelhouse. My brother, not so much. Um, you're learning a lot about my family dynamics here in the competition between us. But yeah, I would say, like, also school, I excelled in, and I think that's why I also wanted to extend my education and go back to school to be a therapist just because it's like, I enjoyed to learn, and I do appreciate higher education and education, so
So you'll like this. I asked that question because I took a class in college. I studied kinesiology, and one of the classes
yes, yeah, I know.
was on play.
Mm,
And the reason why it was important, I did not think it was important at the time, but now the more I ask this question, the more I continue to see it. Play, sport, those types of things shows basically how you go about living. Like it's your style of living, it's your style of
yes.
problem solving. So when we hear, okay, I gravitated towards leadership positions, gritty, burnout does not surprise me anymore. Competitive against com-
Like, and then you're like, "Wait, but you're right, it all makes sense."
competitive
Yeah.
against a male energy. Interesting. Like, and then and making a
Yeah,
competition out of
that's
art,
everything I'm talking about,
competition
yeah.
out of art. I don't know. Crazy idea out of artistic.
Yeah, right?
As somebody who's coached a few dancers in his life, yeah, there is typically a an archetype around it. Competitive
Yeah.
dancers. So it illuminates those things, and it's funny because you're like, oh, I've always been myself. So understanding our tendencies and traits comes through athletic and sport. That was question number one.
Oh, I actually just had somebody on my podcast, and we were talking about, like, the power of play and how we can I feel like we as we grow up, like, right, like, we play all the time when we were little, but we lose it. We lose that kinda curiosity, and that's really where, like, curiosity, creativity lives and thrives is in play. Play moments in your life and in softer moments, not these, like, business meetings or.
Why our best ideas happen in the shower.
Yes, yes. Or me too. I will say I'm weird and a lot of my good ideas come when I'm driving for some weird reason. I think for me driving is like my zoning out time. Like I like not to say I zone out, like of course I'm paying attention to the road, but like it's a me time. Like because I think that's something too with showering. It's like that's one of the only moments in life where like you have like you can be alone, you're truly alone.
Guilt-free me time. It's when we drop the
Yes.
guilt and all of a sudden the things show up. So that's my long way
Yep.
of telling people, give yourself permission to have guilt-free me time because
Exactly.
it is actually productive and profitable.
Absolutely. Oh my god, yeah.
Question number 2.
Second question.
Stranded on a desert island. You get to bring
Oh god.
one movie and one TV series. Which ones are you bringing
Oh,
and why?
Shanna Deader Island, one movie. This is hard. Um, oh God, this is really I think the TV series, oh God, this is really hard. There's so many good ones. Um, mm, like I'm trying to think. I think the TV series I would go with is Curb Your Enthusiasm because I just like find Larry David like hilarious and I love him. Like I could watch that on repeat. And also too, like with his episodes, you don't need like it's like I like you don't need a sequence of it. You can just watch one and you're like, yeah, like but he he like makes me die. Like I love him. I just think he's amazing. His just stories, and his humor. And then movie, I might go like more of like a classic. Like I always grew up and I still to this day love this movie. I love Forrest Gump. I'm like a big Forrest Gump fan.
Okay, here we go. Love this.
I love Forrest Gump. Like I mean, I just love I don't know. I just it's a good movie.
So here's my interpretation of that. What I
Okay.
think
I love it.
the entertainment we come back to repeatedly tells us a lot about like how we view the world and how we engage with the world.
Mhm.
So let me start with Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
True. Yep.
Which, in the same breath, is a lot of everything we talk about. You're going to get some experiences. You don't know what you get, but it can be like it's still a box of chocolates.
Yeah, you never yeah. Life is like a it is. Life is like and I also too I think like because I'm like I love that movie because it shows like the multifaceted his he had a very I mean, of course this was fictional, but you know, he had a very like multifaceted life. So I think it taught me like you're not defined to one thing. Like, you know what I mean? He was a football player and he also like had a disability and like you know, like he then, you know, he like ran, he was in the war, like he you know then he started the shrimp thing or whatever he did with the whatever like you know like he had a lot of things that happened along his journey so it taught like it's inspiring to me that he was able to like you know always evolve.
I love that. You're evolving too, little one. And
Yeah.
Larry David, most people
Oh,
always, I had my first ever response where somebody did not give me one or the other being a humor driven type of thing. So that's a big one. Like,
okay.
laugh through life. If we're not laughing, we're not living. But
Yeah,
secondarily,
right.
what I think is more interesting, I heard that, and I don't know if this is fully true, but I heard it the other day, is that most of Larry David's stuff is like it's unscripted. And
Oh yeah, oh yeah, him like
which is
yeah.
very in line with everything we were talking about today. Like, are you being your authentic self? Are you just showing up and being you? Is it unscripted? So I thought that was a cool
Mhm.
response around that. Question number 3. What is your deathbed meal? Who are you sharing it
Ooh.
with and why?
All right, so I'm just gonna say the restaurant I like love is actually it's in Tarrytown, New York. It's far from you, but I guess it's just like farm to table. I mean, it's called Blue Hill at Stone Barns. I don't think would if they would deliver it to me, that would be amazing. But like they just have like one of those like really lavish like tasting menus. Like they just give you like whatever's in season they use on the farm, and they have all these really. I mean, they're changing the way food is. Like, I mean, I could go on for days, but I would probably say anything from there. I don't care you know what they do. I'm not like picky when it comes to that. It's more for me like a emotional thing. Who am I sharing it with? And this is gonna sound really stuck up. Only the people that deserve it. Because this restaurant, I always say to me, is like more than a restaurant. It's like a movement, and I would even my maybe my dad, not my definitely not my brother, and my like I love my brother, but he does not appreciate this level of food. Probably I've a couple of friends that are like really into food and I've taken the people that I've basically taken to this restaurant. If you earn the right to be a guest with me, to dine with me at this restaurant, you can get them. You can sit with and eat with me with the meal. Because and if you haven't, then I'm sorry you can't share it with me because it's that means that much to me. What was sorry, what's the third
It
part?
was why. And it's an interesting,
Oh, why?
interesting, you
Yeah,
kind of just told me.
because Because, yeah, this restaurant, I mean, to go I could go on for days, like, I go to this restaurant, Caleb, and they have events, they have, like, you know, they're tied to a nonprofit, because they can be very they do a lot of, like, growing operations with, like, different breeds of seeds, the chef has a breed of wheat, like, this is not a normal place, like, this is not like when people are like, "Farm to table," I'm like, yeah, like, this chef is the elite of, you know, in my mind, like, the elite of elite when it comes to, like, agriculture. like because they're about something bigger than food. Like, and people from all of the world come here. Like, waiters from like everywhere come there to just like learn because it's like a very like learning and creative space. But yeah, like if you don't appreciate that, it's yeah, you can't be sitting at sitting at my deathbed meal with me because you didn't appreciate it when I was alive. So, or when I was like, well abled. So you can't appreciate it to me at the end of the life. So yeah, you kind of, and not to say I wanted people to earn it, but it's just, and it's appreciation for something really powerful that is like more than food to me. That's why I said if they whatever they would serve to me, I would eat. Like I'm not like you would need to make this dish because that's like I trust them that much.
No, you'll like this response then. What I find interesting
Okay.
about that, this is my version of who's holding your hand on your deathbed. And that's a question I come up with as well. Because if once we accept that we're all just a mirror,
Mhm.
at the end of your life, on your last breath, the person holding your hand or sitting across from you is essentially the reflection of your growth in your lifetime. So what I find
Mhm.
interesting about your thing, the thing that you care about at this place is like it's more than food. It's about the other
It is.
things that come with it. Are you willing to go deeper into all the other elements of what's showing up on the plane as we're talking about, whether it was fitness or business or whatever, is like, were you willing to go and do all the other deep things to appreciate all the other
Mhm.
elements of me in this lifetime, to grow with me in this lifetime? That's who I'd like to share that experience with. And because it's not just about the food, it's what we're leaving behind and the movement that's behind the experience on the table. So
Mhm.
that's what I
Yep.
find,
Yeah, it's bigger than the food itself.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I find that to be interesting. It's more about us and our own life experiences. The overarching thing behind those three questions is when I was younger, my dad worked a lot and he was gone a lot. But I always knew he loved me because every 4 to 6 weeks, he would take me out for a boys' night. It would be
Mhm.
a movie. We go to Sports Authority, walk around the store for a little bit, and catch a bite to eat.
Bro, Sports Authority.
Yeah.
Missed that place.
By the way,
Yeah.
Tarrytown is like basically where the cult I grew up in is.
I know, I remember, yeah, where at Clifton Park. Yeah.
No, 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 not Clifton Park. I grew up downstate Westchester
Oh,
County.
oh, 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 you live now, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, that's where oh, there's a cult there? I mean, well,
That's the
us
one
too.
I
I
grew
feel
up
like I
in.
oh, you grew up in Terrytown?
No, I grew up in Ossining, but the church itself is in like
Oh,
Sleepy
it's
Hollow,
in
Tarrytown.
Terrytown.
Yeah. Look at that. See, small world.
I haven't I see I just go there for like, it's so funny, people are like, "Oh, do you go there for, like" 'cause Terrytown's like a, Sleepy Hollow. I'm like, "No, I go there for this restaurant, and that's about it." I don't explore there's nothing else exists, like, talk about me being part of a cult, like, that's my cult, like,
We're all in our own.
this restaurant is my cult.
Anyway, that's my overarching way of sharing a little bit of love through my life. It's like through food,
I
through
love it.
athletics, through entertainment. Those are the things
Yeah,
that I come
I think
through.
that's great. A great question and something I'll food for thought for you and pun intended is that there's this quote out there that I love. It's like when you talk about who would you eat with, it's like I only eat with people that I would starve with. And I think and you think about that, it's like, yeah, like it's like because so going back to like being something deeper, it's like, yeah, like you can have like, superficial, but like if you're starving with somebody or if you're in a survival mode with them and not in, like, this comfortable setting, that's when, like, true colors comes out. That's when you find who people truly are when they're starving.
It's been a very enlightening conversation. I like that. That's going to be a clip, by the way.
Yeah, it's like only eat people with people that you'd starve with.
Love that.
Yeah.
If somebody's listening, they're like, I'm digging what Danielle's putting down, and I would like a little more help on the journey with her because she's a coach that resonates with me. What would be the best way for somebody to connect with you?
I would say definitely go to my website, daniellezmft.com. There's a contact form on the top nav. It just says like meet Danielle and go to there. Or I'm most active, I would say, on Instagram. Same handle, Danielle.z.mft on Instagram. So DM me, comment, whatever. I'm there.
Love it. This has been
Awesome.
lovely. This will be a fun one. I've been adapting my
Okay.
final words of wisdom question to leave people with. It's to leave the audience with, but it's really to leave yourself with.
Okay.
You're at the end of your life and you're at that deathbed meal and you're looking back at yourself right now. What advice are you giving to yourself right now?
Choose yourself. Because I think that I'd actually heard this statistic that at the end of their lives, people look back on their lives and they're like, I didn't live for myself. Like I did all the I maybe sacrificed for a job to raise my family. They actually said like I think it was like I don't know how many people was in this study, but they said that like 75% of the people were like, I didn't actually live for me. And it's like that's your whole point on while we're on this short in this short period of time is to live. Of course, I'm not saying be selfish and hurt people along the process. No. But if you choose yourself repeatedly and over again, you'll you won't have to ask yourself that question at the end of your life. Like, and not advice, but you won't have to be like, yeah, like you won't be questioning anything. You'll be like, "Yep, this I did everything I could and I did my best and on to the next chapter, whatever that takes you."
Danielle, I love it. Thanks for joining us today. Everybody go connect with
Yeah.
Danielle. I will have those links in the show notes because if you're lazy like me, you are not going to remember any of those things. You're just going to go straight to the show notes and click the button there. Do that. Check it out. Danielle, you're awesome. I look forward to our next chat. And everybody,
Likewise.
thank you everybody for sharing your time, your energy with us. And until next time, I remind you to love every